As we continue the conversation this morning about domestic violence, something that sometimes gets overlooked is the effect it can have on our pets. Joining me now in Studio A is Tynan with Houston PetSet to talk about the connection between domestic violence and animal cruelty. Good morning. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Good morning. It's always a pleasure coming to see you.
Anytime, any opportunity we have to talk about pets and how they fit into our lives, the equation, the love they give us is really critical. And in these situations, it's really tough. And like most situations with animals, there are a lot of layers to it.
Yes.
Talk to us about what this looks like and how pets can be impacted here.
Absolutely. With it being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we obviously want to shed light on everyone who is impacted by this horrible scourge on society, and that does include pets. I think most commonly people who know about this link between domestic violence and between animal abuse know that a lot of people choose to stay in an abusive situation because they don't have anywhere to go with their pets. Estimates are around 33% of people refuse to leave a situation because they have nowhere to go. A lot of domestic violence shelters don't allow pets for hygienic reasons, for safety reasons. But in addition to that, somewhere around 70% of people have reported that their abuser either threatened, actively harmed, or even killed their pets as a way to exert control over them. So it's really a terrible link. If there is any good news, the good news is we are aware of it, and people are actively working to highlight it and educate so that we can help both people and pets who are stuck in these situations.
Well, and there of course is a lot of work to be done.
Yes.
Most often these conversations focus around children in these types of situations, dependents. Pets are also dependents. Absolutely. And so, bringing them into the dialogue and knowing ways to keep them safe while keeping yourself safe is really critical. What are the solutions here in situations like this when we know a lot of domestic shelters and volunteers who do help people in need in these situations don't accept pets? What are solutions here?
Well, the good news again is that there are more shelters now are building kennels or pet-friendly housing so that to accommodate
needs,
exactly, and it is available but not nearly enough. There are also organizations, I will say the Houston SPCA here in Houston has their Pet Safe program where they'll board pets of domestic violence survivors for free for, I think it's about a month, while they seek out shelter, and then they can get their pets back when they're ready. More organizations who have the capability to do that would be wonderful. Another big solution that, we as citizens can advocate for with our elected officials is being able to include pets in protective orders. So right now, I believe it's 40 states, including, and then Puerto Rico and some, I didn't memorize all my numbers, other territories. They do allow pets to be included in protective orders, but we need to get that number all the way up to our 50 states because that way, that's just another layer of protection for people to ensure that they can't be harmed and their pets can't be harmed. And then, of course, education. We partner here in Texas with the Texas Humane Network, and they have really taken it upon themselves to educate about this link. We were fortunate to partner with them last year to train law enforcement officers. So that includes human law enforcement, police, sheriffs, and constables, and animal enforcement officers to help them learn about cross-reporting so that if an animal control officer is in a home where there's an abusive situation with the pets, they can also be looking out for the children and vice versa. If police are called and they see that there happens to be a dog or a cat that's in that situation, they know they should probably also reach out to animal enforcement to help that pet. So education is key. We also encourage folks who want to learn more about this link. There's a wonderful organization called the National Link Coalition. It's nationallinkcoalition.org, where you can learn about this if you are a mandated reporter, if you're a teacher, if you're a therapist, someone who has a position to be able to help, to learn more about this link. The more people who understand it, the more resources that we can bring to the forefront.
Yeah, to identify the problem here. If people suspect someone is, involved in animal cruelty situations, what should they do? How can they report those incidents?
Well, obviously, I am an animal advocate, but that doesn't mean that I don't care about the humans as well. It is so important to call the police, call the law enforcement to get the people safe. And then if you're a person who's seeing, maybe you witness something in the school pickup line or something like that, and your neighbors, it's always a good thing to keep an eye out for your neighbors, for their children, and you say, hey, I see that guy walking a dog too. I know there's a pet in that house. And you can take it upon yourself to report that you might be suspicious of it, but of course we all know our animal welfare organizations are understaffed, and so we can't always get to, I say we, I'm not out there doing the hard work, but we can't always get to those.
You're helping facilitate that
doing
hard
what
work.
I can.
Yeah, right.
But we can't always get to those calls as quickly as we need to, so it is really important to involve all aspects of law enforcement there to get people there as safely as possible. And of course, if you're able to safely interact with people, let them know that there is help. There are hotlines, and there are resources here in Houston that they can reach out to, and they can get help with their pets as well.
But it starts with you. It starts with you being a responsible citizen, right?
Yes.
Not just a responsible pet owner, but keeping a lookout, keeping an eye out on your neighbors and knowing your neighbors, and having that comprehensive surveillance can really go a long way. Lisa, as always, a pleasure chatting with you this morning. Thank you so much for coming on the show.